Hi guys, welcome back to NB Brings. Right now, we're checking out Onoa House, a compact home with a minimalist, clean design and lots of openings for natural light, but it's not hot at all. Let's take a look together. Alright guys, now we're here with Kak Jofran. How are you doing, Kak Jofran?
I'm good.
Wow, Kak Jofran, you're from Accent Studio, right?
Yes, that's right.
Onoa House?
Onoa House, that's right.
Okay, maybe you can tell us, sir, what's the land area and the building area?
Manoa House has a land area of 97 and a building area of 127. So for the frontage, it's 6 meters and the depth to the back is 15 meters.
The design concept is really interesting. It's really white all the way to the top, and it looks really compact. Yeah.
As the name suggests, from Manoa, we took it from the word monolithic. So the facade we want to show is really very simple. For example, we try to highlight one dominant area, which is this white area, this square shape. Why? So that we can show that the idea behind the facade is to be understated. So it doesn't dominate the surrounding facades too much.
What about the materials used overall? Because the most interesting part is this grill here. What is this?
So even though the main concept of this building is actually monolithic, we wanted to show an interesting facade element. This is actually made from concrete roofing. So we really wanted to highlight a more serious side of this building. One of them is this facade. It's actually just an arrangement of concrete, just concrete roofing. Its function is as a screen to cover the master bedroom. Because if we look at the floor plan, the front area is the master bedroom. So that from the inside we can peek outside, but from the outside people can't see in.
We'll take a closer look in a bit. What kind of finishing is used for the other parts, sir?
Actually, overall, about 80% of this building's finishing is just paint.
Dulux paint.
For outdoors, use Dulux Feather Shield. For indoors, use Pentalite. But for some wood color accents, it's because the client really wanted to incorporate the feng shui of this building. To express that feng shui, we wanted to try applying warm colors, especially wood colors. So we used a lot of wood tones. That's from Conwood. This is mainly from Conwood.
Maybe we can look over there while we talk.
Sure.
Come on, friend. So for the carport, the canopy uses conwood, right?
Yes, that's right. Actually, the cover uses alderon, but if you look from below, it looks too functional. That's why we want to try to create a warm impression using these cornwood slats.
Okay, as for the carport itself, it seems quite wide. Was it 6 meters earlier? Yes.
That's right, this is enough for 2 cars, about 2 meters each. There's room for 1 motorcycle over there.
But
with the motorcycle gone, this space can be used for hobby equipment, like a bicycle, since the client enjoys cycling.
so there are a few bicycles here.
Along with some tools for servicing the bicycles.
There's this part here. What is this? This is really interesting.
Well, actually, this is part of the fence. If we close this building, yes, this is for the walkway. So we're trying to bring the walkway closer to the service area. So this service area has a mailbox, a trash bin. So this is fully custom. We tried to make it ergonomic for people.
Yeah.
So actually, the one on the outside can be used as a mailbox and the one below can be used as the trash bin.
It's made of iron, right?
Yes, this is all steel, made from hollow steel sections and steel plates.
Okay.
And for the trash enclosure, this uses perforated material, just like on this fence, so that air can circulate, so it doesn't smell too bad, and so it doesn't get too rotten inside.
Yeah. Wow. Earlier, for the carport itself, what did you use? Did you use andesite too? Yes, that's right.
Actually, we use this, the Roman hard rock type, the thick one. The color is really made especially for carports. The hard rock one is thicker than the usual granite, right?
Yes.
So in Roman, there's a special product called hard rock. It's really made to withstand vehicle loads. That's why we're trying to use it here.
I see. Wow, that's really interesting.
It really does look like granite actually.
Yeah, that's right. The spots too, right? Earlier we saw there were some clear lines as well. They were repeated and done too. Actually, there's also the same pattern on both the left and right sides, right?
Yeah, actually we use a lot of reveal lines because overall, about 80% of our design is just finished with plaster, skim coat, and paint.
Well,
So how do we make sure the wall patterns aren't boring? So we just try using a groove detail to create a pattern that's a bit more artistic.
I see. Yeah. Okay, so before we go in, where can we enter from? What access do we have? Maybe before talking about access, are there any other features in this front area?
Let's explain this main feature before discussing access.
Okay.
So actually, this was originally meant for bringing bicycles in here, but since there are fewer bicycles now, this space is just used as regular storage, like for example shoes or other hobby items like tennis, paddle, and so on.
Okay, so
Even in the cabinet on the right, we tried to design the size of the cabinet to fit the size of a bike suitcase. This one right here. But since the bike suitcase isn't here, we just put a regular suitcase in here, along with a few other items like a helmet and so on.
wow, it's pretty big, huh? Well,
The first feature.
well,
As for access, there are actually two access points. The main access is from the front here.
yes.
If we take a look, there's also a service area here. This is for MEP equipment. So all that MEP stuff like lighting and so on is placed here. You can also use this to store shoes, helmets, or jackets. So it's easier when you want to leave. And next to it, there's also a chair. So if you want to leave, you just grab your shoes and put them on here.
That makes it easier. Well,
That's for the main door. Now, there's another access, that's the service door, which is on the right side of the building.
okay, well,
Here, there's a separate service access. First, its function is to make it easier to move goods in and out, so later, if goods are being moved in or out, it won't disturb the main access. Second, this service access is about 60 centimeters wide. It acts as a buffer so that this building can breathe.
so
The buildings aren't connected to those on the left or right.
that light can come in too, right?
First, so the light can come in. Second, so the airflow is better, so it can get inside too.
Well,
Maybe you can see this later when we go inside and upstairs. You'll be able to see more clearly what this membrane is all about.
okay, wow. I'm really curious. Maybe we can start from the main entrance first.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, let's go inside. Maybe before we talk about the inside, can you tell me what material this door is made of?
Well, actually, this door is pretty simple. It's made from regular plywood, but it's finished with APL. We tried to match the color with the gray one we saw earlier.
Okay. Yeah. This is interesting. I see another new bold line here. Is this also using HPL, bro?
For the interior, it's fully HPL.
Well,
But because the client wanted to try to apply feng shui or their feng shui to this building, so because his shui is the earth goat, we tried several color schemes that are more earthy. For example, brown or cream colors are derived from the color of clay.
well,
So actually, if we look at it as a whole, in this building, there's nothing that's really fully white.
yeah.
Like we tried to tone down the white to cream, then for the other colors, gray or the wood, we tried to highlight it using this HPL material.
So what rooms are there on the first floor, bro?
Well, actually on the first floor, since our focus is on simplifying the room program vertically, the first and second floors are different, with the first floor focused on public areas. So this whole room is linear. There's a kitchen, a dining area, and a living area. They're all in a straight line, linear. Why? Because we're very limited in terms of space. Secondly, we want to simplify the room program so there aren't too many partitions. So this room really is just one unified space in this area,
There are no partitions at all.
so it feels more spacious too.
Okay, so
Maybe before we go further actually, right behind this entrance door, there's a powder room.
okay, the powder room is in this area, right?
Yeah, that's right. So for example, if we just got home or are about to go out just for a quick touch-up, we can use this powder room. There's also a freestanding sink. There's also a toilet inside.
The toilet is for the staircase area. The material feels more, how do I say it, more natural, I think.
Yes, that's right. Based on the mood board, we really wanted this building to give off a natural and calm impression. That's why we chose these colors too. We didn't use really bold colors, but instead we used softer shades like turning white into cream and maybe gray, but the gray is more like a stone color with that kind of texture.
What about this one? What is this, sis? Granite? The rough one?
So the floor and the walls are the same.
This too, if you look, there's also a shadow gap here.
Yeah, this is a shadow gap, so the boundary between two materials appears neat.
Yeah. Wow, that's important. Details like that matter.
So there's a shadow gap here and another in the back.
Yeah, so it looks really lively.
Now another feature is since the powder room faces directly toward the front, sometimes we want to peek like who's outside, so there's a small window.
Yeah. So
Why is the window so small? Why not place it by the entrance for convenience? Actually, it's for security. People could break in more easily if the window was by the door handle.
that's right. Well,
That's why we put the window here, so it's safer. So even if someone breaks in, it's far from the door. Yeah,
yeah,
you can wash your hands here and peek to see who's there.
that's right. And to greet guests, you just open it, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, now let's go to the living area. This is the living area, which is connected to the dining and kitchen as well. Yes. Well, what's interesting, the most interesting thing that really catches my eye are these two skylights here. Yeah.
There are two skylights here, so actually we're bringing in natural light from two sources. The first one is from the skylight. Why do we use skylights? Because we want to try to bring an outdoor feel into the building. Since the space is limited,
So,
how can we be efficient with that natural light? That's why we try to use the skylight to give the impression of cutting through, as if it cuts through the building.
yeah, that's really interesting, but this opens straight up. No, right? There's a cover, isn't there?
Well, this actually isn't direct sunlight, because if it were direct sunlight, the radiation would be really hot.
Yeah.
So if we look upstairs, maybe we'll go up there later too. Upstairs, there's still roof cover above it, so the roof line stays continuous. That's the first reason. The second is so the rain cover doesn't have to be so large, so there's less chance of leaking.
Well,
The natural light comes not only from the skylight, but also from the service access we mentioned earlier.
this one, right? Yes, yes, yes.
With this, the outdoor impression feels even stronger because there are two sources. First, the outdoor feel comes from the horizontal aspect. Then the second source is the vertical aspect.
The vertical one, right? Wow. So,
Even though this width is only 6 meters or the land area is limited, we can still create an outdoor impression in this building.
wow. And the design follows that too. The strong lines, the cleanliness, it's really obvious from the front all the way inside.
Yeah, we play a lot with geometric shapes because, like I said earlier, the keyword is monolithic.
So,
We try to play with those simple geometric shapes.
okay, for this living area, could I ask about the height? How tall is this, sis?
We keep floor to ceiling between 2.4 and 2.7 meters, which is enough for airflow. Okay.
Now let's go to the dining and kitchen area. For the dining and kitchen, what did you go with here? Was this the owner's choice? Design or custom design?
For loose furniture like this, it's the owner's own choice. But for built-in ones like this, we did it. Design. First, the door panels are still made from HPL. This one is from solid surface. So we tried to repeat the gray color from earlier and bring it into this kitchen. We also tried to repeat the wood texture. We also tried to bring in the color from the stones, and if you're wondering, this is actually just for air circulation.
So it doesn't get damp, right?
First, so it doesn't get damp. Second, because there's gas underneath here, so it's safer.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
So the gas doesn't build up here, because that's dangerous too. If, for example, well,
What I find most interesting is that in the kitchen, usually when you cook, it can get boring, right? So actually, this opening at the back also lets light in.
so actually it's not just for light, we can also let the smell from the food out through here. That's why the window opening faces this way.
It's open. It opens at the top, right?
Because hot air rises, right? It goes out more easily, that's correct. So there are two ways to get rid of odors and smoke. First, this active one. Second, this passive design.
Wow. Yeah. That's something you really have to think about. Yeah. Okay. Also, there's the living room and powder room.
Dining area and kitchen.
Is there any other room?
Well, actually, in the back here, there's a service room.
Is this door also different?
The accents differ between the main entrance door and the one we usually recognize.
This way we know which one is for service. Okay. Here's the staff toilet.
Here's the staff bedroom.
RT.
There are also a few spots to put the washing machine.
Washing machine, and there's a skylight here. Wow. It's pretty bright here too. What feature is this, bro?
Well, that's actually a louver. At first, we didn't design this because it was originally meant for grass, just to be open, but it turns out it's used more for utility purposes. That's why it's paved here. It was supposed to be grass at first.
Second,
Why did we add this louver? It was the client's suggestion. So actually, the upper area was supposed to be for drying clothes, but the area is too narrow or just not enough for drying since there are 3 people living here. So this area changed its function from just being a regular backyard garden. Now it's used for drying clothes. That's why there's a louver here. So it can also block rainwater if it rains. You just need to close it.
if you want sunlight, yeah, that's right. Wow, you can really feel how cool it is here, guys. Because of this opening, the 60 centimeters setback from earlier, you can really feel the coolness too.
So actually there's a unique story too. During the construction phase, a lot of neighbors visited here because they were curious whether this building was 2 stories or 3 stories. In the end, they asked permission from the elder to come in. Well, according to their reviews, this house can be considered cooler compared to the other houses around here.
Yeah.
So maybe what we've applied on this plot actually worked. I see.
Yeah. I actually noticed something, my friend. Take a look here. This could also be a place for beta too. It's possible. So every place can be used, right? It demonstrates its compactness while remaining efficient. Now, let's discuss the next efficiency. Okay, on to the next floor.
There's also an interesting feature here.
Well,
If we look at this wall, there's a painting. Why? Because this client really loves paintings. He collects paintings. So actually, the interior design that we're trying to create or apply here is kept simpler, mainly so that it's not overwhelming. The second reason is so that we can highlight this painting.
starting from a simple design.
Second, we try to use adjustable lights. So if at some point the size of the painting changes, we can move them. Yes,
It can be filled.
it depends, for example, on what the client wants to put here.
That's right. Wow, this is a track light, right?
Yes, that's right, it's adjustable.
You can slide it around. Wow, even all the way over here too.
Actually, this art here is what inspired us to create that slightly unique facade earlier, because we wanted to try to incorporate that artsy element, right? Starting from the interior design and some other items or elements like the slightly unique facade from earlier, we were inspired by that artsy impression.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Actually, they complement each other because the painting itself is also artsy. But this house also becomes like the canvas, right? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Maybe we should continue upstairs.
Okay, let's go upstairs. Bro, you go first. Okay, what material are the stairs made of, bro?
This still uses Roman granite,
Okay.
but it uses stair nosing tiles. So the edges already have the nosing built in.
To make it safer. Yeah.
First, the edge isn't sharp. Second, it has this anti-slip strip.
It's not slippery. Yeah. Speaking of stairs, I also noticed there's a skylight here, bro.
Yes, that's right.
Interesting.
Very.
The shape is different. Typically, a skylight is as wide as the stairs. This one's smaller. Can you tell me about it?
So actually, this skylight has several functions. The first is to let in light so that even though the stairs are in a corridor, there's still natural light coming in. The second is actually, if we look up to the very top, the skylight isn't really this tall. So the slats are just there to cover up the fact that the skylight is actually really tall, all the way up to the top.
Well,
So the function of this skylight isn't just to let in light, but also as a chimney or vent. So for example, in building physics theory,
especially
in tropical buildings, we really have to remove a lot of humidity and hot air because hot air always rises. So we make openings at the bottom which help draw cool air in.
so that's what makes the room cool, right? Yes.
That's right.
Actually, on paper,
Even though we didn't use computational calculations or simulations, conceptually, I think I was quite successful in applying this because based on what we were talking about earlier, many neighbors who came here said that this house feels cool.
well,
Maybe that's one of the indicators that the implementation of building physics here has been successful.
yeah. Well,
So why is the scale size of the skeleton not the same as the width of the room? Because this is just a design move, just to cover my mistake.
cover my mistake so it looks more dynamic. Yeah.
Yes, the lines make it look more dynamic
Yeah, yeah.
because there's a triangle shape like that.
Why is the light on this side kind of recessed like that?
At first we wanted to install a track light,
Well,
but maybe during the installation the client had a different idea, because at first we also wanted to make it like the one below. So on this wall it's just a blank wall.
for the story room, a painting.
The lights are adjustable, but the client may already think this is enough.
The spotlights can be adjusted.
So there's no need to move it around, because in terms of the area size, it's not bigger than the one below.
Okay, so what rooms are there on the second floor, sir?
There's just this hallway.
Painting room.
Second, there's the client's workspace. Here is the master bedroom. Then behind these two doors, there are the children's rooms, which are exactly the same size. And at the end over there are two doors. One door leads to the bathroom, and the other door leads to the service area under the second house.
Okay, maybe we can go to this area first. This is the master, right? Yes.
This leads into the master bedroom. Okay, let's take a look. Wow.
This is the master bedroom. This is the one we talked about earlier, facing directly toward the facade, right? Yes?
That's right. If we look here, we can still see the tip.
Yeah.
So we can see outside through the gaps in the grid we made earlier from the concrete roof.
Yeah.
But from outside, we can't really see in here.
Oh,
It can't be the same.
so this is actually like, well, a balcony, but it's actually closed off to maintain privacy.
It's just for privacy and shade.
By the way, bro, which direction is this house facing?
Actually, the orientation of the building is facing north. That's why we use a lot of shading in the front. First, because Indonesia is located below the equator, especially in Jakarta, so it gets a lot of sun exposure from the north. That's why on the north side or on the facade, we try to use a lot of shading. First, we try to lower the wall so that the openings are only at the bottom.
Second, we add louvers.
Besides providing shading, it's also to obscure the view from outside to inside, but from inside you can still see outside. Yeah, outside.
So that means everything is also related to how it's shown. All the orientations are also adjusted, right?
Yes, actually the client has a connection, so they can interpret those earlier points in terms of feng shui for the building. So starting from the color tone, first we tried to use natural colors, from white to cream, then from wood. What I mean is we tried to highlight the wood. Second, for the orientation of the bed, we also tried to adjust it to each individual's feng shui. So later, each room will have different directions for the openings and different color tones. The main door's position is also based on feng shui calculations, so we placed it on the building's left side.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, speaking of the master bedroom, what's the approximate size, bro?
As for the area itself, it's about 14 square meters. That doesn't include the master bathroom yet.
The toilet, right? Okay.
So the 14 square meters is just the bed area.
So this is roughly 3 meters by 3 meters.
It's about 3.5 by 4 more or less.
3.5 by 4 meters, right? Okay. Now, this part is interesting. So there's a balcony. There's a balcony that actually looks out onto the gap we saw earlier, right?
Actually, the client added a few things here too.
Like this one.
The louver at the back that we tried earlier.
Yes.
This is actually a personal request from the client. If we try to pull this in, it can be opened. If you really want as much light as possible to come into this room.
This makes it really bright.
So the lights aren't used that much. But if it rains, you can just close it.
Yeah.
Added by the client, we didn't design it. The mechanism is the same as the one in the back.
That's right. Oh. Okay. Yeah. So actually, I see that the room really gets a lot of design attention. And it's right in the middle, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, interesting. Let's try to take a look at the kids' room. Okay, let's go. Maybe let's check out the bathroom first. Let's take a look at the bathroom first before we go to the kids' room. Now, this is the walk-in closet.
This is enough based on the client's needs.
Yes.
Now let's try to enter the master bathroom. Okay.
So this is the master bathroom?
So this was just recently used, so it might be a bit wet.
Yeah, it's okay. All right.
But actually what's unique is the soap holder response to the facade. The facade has a bit of a play with depth, moving in and out. Besides aesthetics, it's also functional and can be used for storage.
Oh. So the ones that have a shape, yes.
The second one here has an opening to the side. The building can't be seen from outside.
Yeah.
But here there's an opening.
Just for light, right? The first is for light.
The second one is for air. So air can go out and in. So the steam from the shower, we have two solutions. The first one here is called the exhaust.
Yes.
So there's a bit of design play here.
Turns out the exhaust is actually hidden, so the ruffling sounds different.
We try to be more sustainable or more responsible with two efforts. The first is through active design, and the second is through passive design. When it comes to design, we try to work on it through designs like this. The active part comes from the machines, like using an exhaust fan, and also from, for example, the kitchen equipment.
Yeah. For example, are the materials in this bathroom the same as the ones downstairs, or are they different? I think maybe these are different.
The flooring here is the same as the one downstairs because it's also rough. For the Roman standard, it's actually meant to be textured so it won't be slippery. This one has a smoother texture. It's a shade derived from cream, so that the color tone matches better with the Yu or Feng Shui.
Is this one using HPL? This is HPL too, right?
Yes, this uses HPL with the same solid surface as in the kitchen.
Yeah, yes.
So the materials are intentionally repeated throughout, like gray, wood, stone, and cream. They all appear in multiple places.
Actually, doing it like that can also help with the budget, right? Because you get everything at once. That's right. You buy the materials together, right?
Bulk buying.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, now let's go to the child's room. Come on. Okay, let's go to the second child's room. Maybe before we go to the second child's room, is the paint here the same as well? From the outside, it uses paint with a whiter tone. It's made for the exterior.
If you look at the tone from the outside, it's clearly different. Outside, it's more of a brilliant white, but inside, it's a cooler shade. For the exterior, we use weather shield since it's more weather resistant. For earth tones, in the interior, they're definitely warmer, while outside, they're more vibrant. Seriously.
That's right. Okay. Now let's check the kids' room. Let's start with the first one. Maybe it's similar too.
Okay.
So this is the same. It also has a decent opening.
So we really try to make sure every room has its own opening. So none of them are deprived of natural light or air. Yes. So every room gets a window. They already have windows too.
Okay.
Looking back, the skylight goes straight through, similar to the previous lower skylight. It doesn't reach the top, only up to here. So that the maintenance is as easy as possible. For example, if we want to clean the glass panels. Meanwhile, the one above keeps going straight through,
That's right.
so that too much rain doesn't blow in here.
So actually that means there's also a skylight here, right?
Yes, in every section or intersection, there's a skylight.
So this is actually also used to separate the rooms, right?
First, it's to separate the rooms. Second, it's so that the rooms can breathe.
They're not too close to each other. Yeah. I haven't talked about the floor yet from the interior side. What kind of floor is this, bro?
This also uses Roman, bro.
This also uses Roman? Yes, that's right. Okay.
So we really try to design it not just to have a timeless look, but also to use materials with lasting durability.
Yeah.
The floor actually uses a wood texture, but if you use WPC or SPC, the maintenance is more difficult, so we tried using Roman granite with a wood texture instead. Secondly, for the roof, we also use Roman. We use Roman Kanmori roof.
Okay.
So we really try to choose materials whose durability is already guaranteed. So maintenance is easier too.
Yeah. About how big is this kid's room?
This is definitely smaller than the master bedroom, maybe about 3 by 3,
3 by 3? Okay.
not including this wardrobe yet.
Yes, this wardrobe.
The wardrobe is seamless, so it's just like a wall.
Even though it's inside the wardrobe. Because earlier the thickness of that tier earlier,
Is adjusted to fit the size of the cabinet, 60 centimeters.
the size of the cabinet. Yeah.
So it's really just about the layout.
Wow, yeah, that's right. It's the same in the next room too, right?
Yeah, it's the same in the next room too. There's something just like this there.
That's interesting. Is this using track lighting here too?
So since kids have different needs, they can use this for reading here or for other things. So this is actually adjustable. It can be pulled down. It could be here or here, depending on their needs. Like if they want to read something or any size book, or if they want a specific position, that's possible. It's very flexible.
Wow.
This actually helps kids get used to reading books.
Right. So it's not designed for habit, yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Habit. Is this the same too? More or less, right?
This one is exactly the same size.
Exactly the same, right?
Each one gets an opening. Then it also has a cabinet. Yes, and there's also an adjustable leg, all the same.
Okay, so now we're looking at the work area, right? The workspace. The workspace is big enough. It's quite spacious for one person to work. And you can read books here too.
Actually, the client works outside more often, so they don't work at home that much. That's why the dedicated space is just this small. For printing, for using a laptop, and for reading books.
Yeah.
And mostly I put some items for my hobbies, like for example, die-cast models like this and other storage.
Yeah, right.
Because the need isn't for full-time WFH either.
Okay, so in this area over here, that's the room from earlier, the laundry. Sorry, drying phone. Yes, drying.
Let's come here first. Here's the difference. Actually, by design, this balcony is meant for drying clothes, but because there are more needs. So there are actually two places for drying clothes. The first one is on the second floor, mostly for drying towels, because there's a bathroom next to it here, so it's easier to dry things. Meanwhile, the main drying area is still downstairs.
Okay,
So this area was originally for drying clothes and service access upstairs.
that's for this access too.
To the roof. For access to the roof, yes, this is just for routine maintenance of the MEP systems, like for example the water tank.
And other things like that. Okay, there's access. And this is for the toilet, right?
Yes, this is the shared toilet that's used by both of his children.
This color, the tone is a bit different.
It's more masculine.
Yes, that's right.
This is leans more towards stone finishes actually.
But rocks like the ones below, powder, right? Yes.
This material purchase is similar to the one below or further down.
For the one in the master bedroom.
The master bathroom is warmer, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Adjusting the feng shui. This one also adjusts to the user's feng shui. Each child is unique with different zodiac signs.
Actually, it's enough to use this size, right?
Actually, no. Functionally, this is enough, but sometimes ergonomically, it's still a bit lacking.
Yeah.
Because it will definitely splash too. But overall, this is already functional.
Yeah, that's right.
People just brush their teeth and so on.
Yeah. Okay, maybe just from there, maybe from the whole room in the house. We can talk about the house in more detail downstairs.
Okay.
Yes. Kapcho, how long does the whole process usually take from design through construction?
Starting from meeting the client, from pitching and everything else until the end of the DED up to the DSA, it takes about 3 months. For the construction, although this is a renovation, we're dismantling everything from the beginning. It took about 6 months from the time we started demolishing until it was livable again.
Okay, so 6 months, which means a total of about 9 months.
About 9 months more or less, and it was only ready to be lived in at the beginning of this year, at the start of 2006. So that puts construction at the end of 2025.
December. Okay, during that process, were there any challenges, maybe from the client or with the contractor?
For this project, we were fortunate to have good contractors and a supportive client. So there weren't many obstacles, it's just that we designed the unique front facade earlier. Well, the main difficulty was there because it's an unusual detail, something we haven't tried to make in other designs. So that's where we had trouble. Like for example, we had to make a mock-up and see if it was possible or structurally strong enough. And the rest, we actually got a pretty good contractor.
Okay, so earlier we saw that the design has a lot of vertical lines, neat lines. Even the finishing is really neat, like the patterns are also tidy. Is there a certain secret to that? How do you make it end up so neat like that?
Well, actually, when it comes to the SOP for execution, our detailed drawings are also very detailed. For example, for the trim details for the pattern, the details for the joints and so on, we try to make them as detailed as possible in the detailed drawings. Secondly, during construction itself, we actually have regular visits. Starting from wet work, language, assets, up to finishing, we visit the project about once every 2 weeks. So we really try as much as possible to make sure the results or installation or work are exactly the same as what we've designed. At most, if it's about design. If there are some findings in the field, they can be discussed together. Usually, it's the three of us, the architect, the project supervisor, and the client. We can discuss those things. So there really aren't many difficulties because the communication goes well.
Okay, that's probably why. Maybe it's because the drawings are detailed, maybe. So in the end, the communication is also easier.
The client is also supportive about possible problems we might face.
For example, if we talk about the budget, can you share it?
Actually, for the overall budget, architecture and interior are around 1.2 billion. If we divide it by the floor area of 127 square meters, that means it's about 9.5 million per square meter. That already includes the interior. The same contractor handled both the architecture and interior.
Was that in 2025?
Yes, that's right. Okay.
Okay, yes.
The 6 months already covers the interior.
Okay. Maybe, for example, if a friend wants to ask more or see more of your work, where can they find it?
Well, we publish a lot of our work on Instagram, our Accent Studio. If you want to contact us, you can also find us on YGI. Here's the link, our link tree.
Okay.
If you want to contact us by email or by DM, that's possible too.
Yes, so just go ahead and check out their Instagram. And if you have any questions, don't forget to leave a comment below. And also like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Bye.
I brought an axe.